I'm Nurin Razmyn, and this is Nightline, the top stories. Government orders Bintulu LNG facilities to tighten security after potential threat. And Tan Sri wife plead not guilty to CBT money laundering charges amounting to 452 million ringgit. Good morning. The National Security Council, NSC, has ordered an immediate reinforcement in security measures at all liquefied natural gas or LNG facilities in Bintulu, Sarawak, following a potential security threat against the facilities. In a statement on Monday, the NSC confirmed that it had received information on the threat and directed all operators in the area to strengthen safety protocols. The measure is also intended to allow security forces and relevant authorities to carry out immediate investigations into the matter. The Council urged the public not to speculate on the matter, assuring that updates on the situation will be released in due course. It is also assured that national security agencies are on high alert and have put in place control measures to address the threat. Bintulu is home to one of the world's largest LNG production hubs and serves as a key contributor to Malaysia's energy exports. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has emphasized that while Malaysia is advancing into the digital era and embracing artificial intelligence, it remains crucial for the younger generation to maintain a strong understanding of history. The Prime Minister said such knowledge is vital towards strengthening patriotism and preparing youth for global challenges. Speaking at the launch and inaugural meeting of the National Historians Council in Putrajaya on Monday, Anwar stressed that Malaysia cannot rely solely on technology to navigate global pressures, adding that a solid grounding in history is necessary to ensure young Malaysians stay on the right course.
Kerana saya lihat kadang-kadang perbincangan dalam negara seperti sekarang di mana kita banyak majlis tentang digital, tentang AI, tentang semiconductor, teknologi baru, itu kadang-kadang meremehkan peranan sejarah. Padahal kalau kita belajar, AI itu sendiri sudah multidisciplinary. AI akan berjaya kalau kita faham nilai, akhlak dan sejarah kita.
Anwar reminded historians and scholars that historical interpretation should be anchored in moral values and the principles that shape civilization and culture, ensuring these ideals are deeply embedded in society. He also urged that the nation's history be presented in a more dynamic and engaging way to ensure greater interest among young people in Malaysia's formation. The government is currently finalizing the eligibility criteria and implementation for the RON 95 subsidy rollout. Second Finance Minister Datuk Seri Amir Hamzah Azizan said this will involve the use of MyCard at petrol stations nationwide. According to Amir Hamzah, the targeted subsidy will be carefully designed to ensure that the system operates efficiently.
Ia berdasarkan dengan menggunakan IC sebagai satu mekanisme untuk memastikan kelayakan untuk mereka yang layak. Dan digunakan di semua stesen minyak yang ada di Malaysia, termasuk mini station yang ada di negara.
Speaking in the Dewan Negara on Monday, Amir Hamzah, who is also serving as the Economy Minister, explained that the government will use data from the Central Database Hub, PADU, to determine eligibility, ensuring that those who are truly qualified will benefit. Further details on the targeted subsidy for RON 95 petrol will be announced at the end of this month. In another development, Amir Hamzah said 2.85 million active formal employees Provident Fund members have reached the basic savings level. This marks an increase to 38.3% of members compared with the post-COVID period.
Peningkatan yang tinggi dalam kalangan ahli aktif mencerminkan situasi yang sebenar kerana banyak usaha kajian untuk menolong meningkatkan lagi simpanan dalam KWSP.
Of the total, Bumiputra members account for 1.38 million, Chinese members 1.22 million, and Indian members 214,000 contributors. The relatively low savings levels among EPF members, particularly Bumiputra, were attributed to the impact of special withdrawals during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Malaysia now has its first ever vehicle forensic laboratory, which is set to be a game changer in road accident investigations. The lab is capable of analyzing data from event data recorders, airbag control modules, and vehicle infotainment systems to reconstruct the actual scenario of the incident.
Digital Minister Goh Beng Sin Dio said the initiative is highly significant as it can assist all parties involved when an accident occurs.
Dapat mengambil langkah-langkah untuk kita cuba memastikan bahawa kekurangan-kekurangan yang wujud yang telah pun membawa kepada kemalangan atau insiden tersebut dapat kita memperbaiki.
He said the lab is working closely with authorities, particularly the police and the road transport department. In addition to research and analysis of vehicle data, the lab supports digital forensic investigations carried out by law enforcement agencies, providing authentic and integrity-assured digital evidence. Goh Beng also acknowledged public concerns over how collected data is used and safeguarded, stressing that this was a key focus in the lab's development to ensure that all data used in investigations is securely stored.
Maju Holdings Director Tan Sri Abu Sahid Muhammad has been charged at the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court with 17 counts of criminal breach of trust and money laundering involving 452 million ringgit. He pleaded not guilty to all the charges, which are connected to the proposed Putrajaya KLIA highway project, also known as MEX 2.
For the 4 CBT charges, 74-year-old Abu Sahid, who arrived at court in a wheelchair, was alleged to have fraudulently misappropriated over 313 million ringgit that belonged to Maju Holdings and entrusted him in his capacity as director of the company at a bank in Bukit Tungku between May 3, 2016 and October 21, 2019. The charges under the Penal Code carry a jail term of not less than 2 years and not exceeding 20 years, with whipping and a fine upon conviction. Under the money laundering charges, he is accused of transferring funds to several individuals and companies and disposing of 139 million ringgit obtained from unlawful activities. The offences were allegedly committed at the same bank between May 4, 2016 and October 29, 2019. The charges under the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act, or AMLA, carry a maximum 15-year jail term and a fine not less than 5 times the amount of proceeds from illegal activities, or 5 million ringgit, whichever is greater. Judge Suzana Hussein granted bail of 1.5 million ringgit with one surety and set November 3rd for mention. At a separate sessions court, Abu Sahid's wife, 48-year-old Puan Sri Nur Azrina Muhammad Azmi, claimed trial to a charge of money laundering involving more than 67.1 million ringgit, allegedly linked to the MEX 2 project. She was accused of receiving the funds into her personal bank account from Abu Sahid's account, believed to be proceeds from illegal activities at a bank in Bukit Tungku between March 6 and November 27, 2017. Judge Rosli Ahmad granted bail of 500,000 ringgit with one surety and set November 3rd for mention. Previously, the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission seized various assets worth nearly 141 million ringgit as part of an investigation into the misuse of sukuk funds allocated for the MEX 2 project. The assets included designer handbags, jewellery, luxury vehicles, watches and cash, as well as luxury condominiums and land. During the operation, the MACC also discovered a room at one of the residences used to store alcoholic beverages valued at 3 million ringgit. Meanwhile, a former director of MEX2, Sendirian Berhad, a subsidiary of Maju Holdings, pleaded not guilty in the same sessions court to 17 counts of using forged documents to make progress payment claims for the proposed highway project amounting to over 314 million ringgit. 68-year-old Dato' Yap Wee Leong allegedly committed the offences between June 2017 and April 2018 at Maju Tower in Jalan Sultan Ismail. He faces a maximum of 2 years imprisonment, a fine, or both upon conviction. The court granted bail at 1 million ringgit with one surety and fixed November 3rd for case mention. In another development, the MACC confirmed that both Abu Sahid and Yap will face 25 additional charges over the misuse of funds from the MEX2 project. MACC Deputy Public Prosecutor Dato' Ahmad Akram Garib said Abu Sahid will be charged with 7 counts of abetting and misappropriating assets dishonestly amounting to 145 million ringgit, while Yap will face 18 further charges of submitting false claims and money laundering totaling 596 million ringgit. All charges are expected to be filed in the near future.
The inquest into Zahra Khairina's Mahathir's death has revealed that one of her personal notebooks had been written together with another individual. The second witness, Nurul Atika Muhammad Noh, a document examiner from the chemistry department, told the coroner's court that this finding was made following an examination of the book in question.
On the third day of proceedings, Atika said the book marked as W3 contained 2 types of handwriting. Speaking before Sessions Court Judge Amir Shah Amir Hassan, who is sitting as coroner, the witness added that the specimen writer and another person took turns writing on different dates. The comparison was made based on the late Form 1 student's handwriting in her exercise book and textbooks. Atika was also questioned by lawyer Dato' Ram Singh on bloodstains apparently found on pages with Zahra's handwriting. She explained that she could not confirm the matter as her focus had been on identifying the deceased's handwriting. Ram read out several paragraphs of Zahra's writing expressing dissatisfaction. The witness confirmed that the handwriting belonged to the deceased. The coroner, meanwhile, warned the public against sharing or publishing on social media any exhibits presented as evidence in the ongoing inquest. Amir Shah issued the reminder following a formal complaint on the matter, saying such actions are liable to be treated as contempt of court. The inquest was adjourned to Tuesday.
Malaysian companies secured business deals worth over 125 million ringgit, including 13.6 million ringgit in actual sales, during the Malaysia External Trade Development Cooperation or MATRADE's Export Acceleration Mission to South Africa and Kenya. Held from September 1st to 5th in collaboration with SME Bank Malaysia, the mission brought together 13 companies from various sectors. A total of 240 business matching sessions was held for Malaysian companies with 128 South African and Kenyan buyers. The initiative forms a key pillar of the government's market diversification strategy to broaden Malaysia's export footprint. With a population of 1.5 billion, Africa is recognized as a vital export market with immense potential, particularly in strategic sectors. China is pushing for a formal signing of a free trade agreement upgrade with ASEAN before the end of the year. According to Chinese Vice Commerce Minister Yang Dong, Beijing will also construct new land and sea trade corridors with the 10-member bloc. He added that in the face of unilateralism and protectionism in global industrial chains, China and ASEAN have insisted on multilateral cooperation to maintain the stability and smooth operation of regional industrial chains. Last month, Chinese exports to ASEAN surged 22.5% from a year earlier to $57.1 billion, making Southeast Asia China's top export destination by value. The increase helped offset a 33.1% slump in shipments to the U.S., which fell to $31.6 billion. We're taking a short break. When we return, woman who rushed towards Sultan of Perak charged.
Fatri, kedai makan dekat rumah saya tu pelanggan dia beratur panjang.
Itu mesti pelanggan dengan kuasa review.
Kes boleh di tempat kerja, jangan sampai jadi mangsa.
Semakin banyak bangunan usang yang terbiar, apakah solusinya?
Ketika ziarah orang sakit atau yang sudah meninggal dunia, adab perlu jadi keutamaan.
Cuti sekolah bakal bermula, uruskan kewangan anda dengan bijak.
Isnin hingga Jumaat jam 10 pagi.
Stream lagi tonton juga eksklusif di TV3.
Keadilan buat Syamsul Haris, misteri yang belum terungkap.
Okay, alhamdulillah proses yang pertama dah pun selesai dan saya berpuas hatilah.
Pemalsuan identiti, skamer cuba tipu rakan terdekat.
Kenapa dengan bisnes kau? Bukan kau baru buka ke?
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Pada tahun ini, sehingga Ogos 2025, kita telah menerima lebih 700 kes cyberbully yang dilaporkan ke Cybersecurity Malaysia.
Apabila mereka mula mengalami keresahan, kemurungan, itu menyebabkan mereka merasa penat untuk meneruskan kehidupan dan berjuang untuk membersihkan nama mereka.
Syah dikatakan telah membunuh diri atas isu tekanan daripada cyberbully.
Masuk hutan, selam lautan dan tinjau wildlife beraksi dalam Arabian Seas. Africa's Hunters musim pertama. Chasing the Rains. Africa's Hunters musim kedua. Alien Abyss. Layan Animal Documentary di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. A woman was charged in the Ipoh Magistrates Court on Monday with using criminal force against the Sultan of Perak, Sultan Razmyn Muizzuddin Shah, during the state-level National Day parade last week. 41-year-old Nur Haswani Afni Muhammad Zorki nodded when the charge was read out to her before Magistrate Muhammad Harith Muhammad Mazlan. However, no plea was recorded.
Nur Haswani allegedly committed the offence at Dewan Bandaraya Ipoh at about 8:20 a.m. on August 31st. The charge under the Penal Code provides for a prison term of up to 3 months, a fine of up to 1,000 ringgit or both upon conviction. Deputy Public Prosecutor Nasrul Hadi Abdul submitted that no plea be recorded as an initial report from Hospital Bahagia Ulu Kinta indicated that the accused suffers from schizophrenia. The court allowed the request, ordering the accused to undergo further psychiatric evaluation before proceedings continue. The case has been fixed for mention on October 8th. The woman was reported to have rushed towards Sultan Razmyn on the main stage before being immediately detained by security personnel.
Also at the Ipoh Magistrates Court, 9 individuals, including a woman, were remanded for 7 days to assist in investigations into the discovery of a woman's body in a car linked to a man who had earlier stabbed and shot a policeman. The remand order was issued by Magistrate Anis Hanini Abdullah when the suspects were brought to court on Monday.
The remand application was made to facilitate investigations under the Penal Code. The female suspect is being remanded for murder, while the 8 male suspects for attempted murder. Police had reportedly arrested the individuals aged between their 20s and 60s on Sunday. Several of the 9 suspects are believed to be family members of the main suspect, who is still at large. At 1:15 a.m. on Sunday, a man shot and stabbed a police corporal, injuring the officer following a high-speed chase that ended at an oil palm plantation. The man then fled with policeman's pistol and abandoned his vehicle, where the body of a woman was discovered in the back seat. The shooter is still on the run. Post-mortem results revealed that the 62-year-old victim died from asphyxia-related causes. The injured policeman is reported to be in stable condition and is receiving treatment at the Raja Permaisuri Bainun Hospital. The case remains under investigation, with efforts to establish the motive and the roles of all individuals detained underway.
Johor police have seized shabu worth nearly 2.6 million ringgit in a raid at a guarded terrace house in Bandar Penawar, Kota Tinggi. During the 10:30 p.m. operation last Wednesday, the authorities also arrested a man, an Indonesian woman, and a local woman.
State Police Chief Dato Abdul Rahman Arsad said the suspects, aged between 30 and 43, are believed to be working with an international drug syndicate.
Telah pun merampas dadah disyaki syabu seberat 80,330 gram ataupun lebih kurang 80 kilogram yang diisi dalam 76 bungkusan.
He added that the syndicate, which has been active since last year, used the guarded house as a transit store before trafficking the drugs to overseas markets, mainly to Batam and the Riau Islands in Indonesia. Police also seized 4 cars, 2 motorcycles, 4,000 ringgit in cash, over 3,000 ringgit in Indonesian rupiah, and a gold bar. Checks showed that 2 of the suspects, who tested positive for shabu, had a prior criminal history. All 3 individuals have been remanded until Tuesday to facilitate investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act.
More than a dozen killed in protests against social media ban. The details when Nightline returns.
Pada tahun ini, sehingga Ogos 2025, kita telah menerima lebih 700 kes cyberbully yang dilaporkan ke Cybersecurity Malaysia.
Apabila mereka mula mengalami keresahan, kemurungan, itu menyebabkan mereka merasa penat untuk meneruskan kehidupan dan berjuang untuk membersihkan nama mereka.
Syah dikatakan telah membunuh diri atas isu tekanan daripada cyberbully.
Lelaki itu lemah. Saya ada jin itu. Boleh tunaikan unlimited rewards. Ingatkan lelaki jin tak cukup satu. Lagi layan dengan tontonan rewards non-stop. Nak ni, nak tu. Semua untuk korang. Langgan tonton RM9.90 je. Baru puas. Wanita Hati.
Sekarang ni di media sosial dijadikan tempat untuk syurhat.
Tapi kalau salah syurhat, boleh jadi bahaya tau.
Ulam-ulaman banyak hasiatnya.
Macam-macam menu boleh dibuat dengan ulam.
Bila cakap pasal kewangan, ada banyak isunya.
Jadi bagaimana kita nak urus konflik kewangan dalam hidup kita?
Because antara masalah yang kerap dialami oleh gerangan wanita.
Sebab itu kita harus cakna dengan tanda-tandanya.
Setiap pasangan perlu ada bahasa cinta masing-masing.
Jadi apa bahasa cinta anda?
Semuanya di WC TV3.
Dan stream sekarang, ditonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Terbaru ditonton.
Ni, kau ambil apron ni, aku berhenti kerja. I quit. Lepas ni nak buat kerja apa pula? Nak buat taksi.
Terror awak. Kafe bunga telang ni baru je buka tapi tengok pelanggan ramai
Nah, terror. Orang macam Kak Syalisa ni memang terbaik, the perfect chef. Macam tu.
Jidah ni macam cool tau. Saya ingin sangat nak jumpa dia.
Kenapa? Nak masuk Minang?
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
On to the foreign front. Indonesia's well-regarded finance minister, Sri Mulyani Indrawati, was removed from her position on Monday as part of a broader cabinet reshuffle. Sri Mulyani is one of Indonesia's longest-serving finance ministers and has worked under 3 presidents. State Secretariat Minister Prasetyo Hadi announced Sri Mulyani's departure shortly before President Prabowo Subianto swore in Purbaya Yudi Sadewa as her replacement. Purbaya has held various roles across several ministries, including serving as Deputy Minister at the Maritime and Investment Ministry. The reshuffle also affected the Coordinating Political and Security Affairs Ministry, the Protection of Indonesian Migrant Workers Ministry, the Cooperatives and SMEs Ministry, and the Youth and Sports Ministry.
And its accelerating annexation of the occupied West Bank.
At least 40 Palestinians have been killed in attacks by Zionist forces across the Gaza Strip since Sunday, including 14 who were killed after homes and tents sheltering the displaced were targeted in Gaza City. 3 people were also killed in an Israeli strike on tents in a refugee camp in the Al-Maswari area of Khan Yunis. In northern Gaza City, Israeli fighter jets struck the home of a Palestinian family on Al-Yarmouk Street, resulting in the death of 5 civilians. The Zionist army also continued to blow up homes and buildings using booby-trapped robots in northern Gaza. Meanwhile, United Nations Human Rights Chief Volker Turk condemned Israel for the mass killing of Palestinian civilians in Gaza and for blocking life-saving aid, saying it has a case to answer before the International Court of Justice. As the Zionist military's punishing assault on besieged Gaza rages, at least 6 people were killed in a shooting attack in occupied East Jerusalem earlier on Monday. Officials said at least 12 other people were injured in the attack, with 6 in serious condition with gunshot wounds following the shooting at Ramut Junction. Several others were lightly injured by glass and treated at the scene. The 2 attackers reportedly arrived by car and opened fire at a bus stop before being shot and killed by a security officer and a civilian. Israeli forces have closed all checkpoints between occupied East Jerusalem and the West Bank following the attack. It was not immediately clear who carried out the shooting or the motive behind their attack. At least 19 people have been killed and dozens injured in Nepal after demonstrations against a government social media ban led to clashes between protesters and security forces. Thousands of self-described Gen Z demonstrators gathered near Kathmandu's parliament building to protest the ban on platforms such as Facebook, X, and YouTube. The protests then turned violent after agitators entered the parliament complex, prompting police to use force, including water cannons, batons, and rubber bullets. More than 100 people, including 28 police personnel, were receiving medical treatment for their injuries. A curfew was also imposed in areas surrounding the parliament building. Last week, authorities ordered the blocking of 26 social media platforms for failing to meet a registration deadline set by Nepal's Ministry of Communication and Information Technology. Switching to sports football, the 2025 Tier 1 International Friendly. Joao Figueiredo's strike proved enough to earn the Harimau Malaya's second straight friendly win with a slim 1-0 result against Palestine on Monday night. Starting off strong, the national team took the lead just 3 minutes into the game when Figueiredo's finished off a well-delivered cross. Harimau Malaya faced late pressure from Palestine but stayed composed to preserve their 1-goal lead until the final whistle. Wushu now, the 2025 World Championships in Brazil. The national trio of Lee Jia-rong, Pang Pu-ri, and Tang Chong-min clinched gold in the women's Dalian event on the final day of competition to seal a 5-goal haul on Sunday.
They scored 9.630 points to edge Italy, who took silver with 9.623, and Hong Kong, who settled for bronze with 9.613 to claim the top of the podium. Earlier, the men's trio of Clement Ting Su Wei, Si Shin Peng, and Brian T. Kai Jay won bronze in the Dalian event with 9.613 points. Macau claimed gold with 9.620 points, while Hong Kong settled for silver with the same score after losing on degree of difficulty. Overall, the national team wrapped up the championship with a haul of 5 gold, 1 silver, and 2 bronze medals. The haul marked Malaysia's best ever result at the World Championships, surpassing the 4 golds won in Kuala Lumpur 2013 and Hanoi 2005.
And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at the total lunar eclipse known as the Blood Moon, which lit up the sky from Sunday night till early Monday morning. With that, I'm Nurin Razmyn. Thank you for watching and stay safe.